Hi Brad, so it's Lisa Newport here, and I want to talk to you about how you got to your uniform. So, Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah,
Steve Jobs,
that's right.
Simon Cowell,
Of course.
all successful businessmen like yourself,
Right.
all have this thing where they wear the same thing all the time, as you do.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the premise is that it takes away the decision fatigue.
As well as
Yeah. So what I wanted to chat to you about is how did you
land on it.
get to it? Yeah.
So that's a really good point, a really good question. I think for me, I used to wear suits, and I used to wear suits with a open neck shirt and shiny shoes. And I remember going to Johnson's, the dry cleaners, and getting two suits out and shirts and what have you. And he said it was 32 quid. And I'm thinking, 32 quid? I'm thinking, does this come with the free PlayStation 4? And it was like, at that point, I went, what am I doing this for? I kind of woke up and said, this is crazy. I'm running around getting these suits out and dry cleaning. And it's kind of evolved. It was always trainers, then jeans, and then I used to have these kind of Brad Burton type t-shirts, which were like really quite leery, like almost like UFC style. This is going back about 4 or 5 years ago. And they kind of worked for me up to a point. However, I believed that my look was very aggressive, and that's what the kind of vibe that was giving off, was this aggression. And that was because I didn't know how to temper, that kind of approach to speaking. It was always about high energy and not really much control. Anyway, I landed on these Adidas Superstars, white Adidas Superstars, which is what I wear. These are like, they last for all of about 2 days, and then they don't look new. So every time that I do a speaking gig, a professional gig, whether it's JCB, Costa or whatever, I always wear a brand new pair of Adidas Superstars. The jeans that I get, truth, I get them from Sports Direct. They're like 25 quid, right? Then it should be like 80 or whatever he says in there, but I don't believe that for a minute. They're 20 quid. And I've got a I know that I can go anywhere in the UK, the land, I can go in there, Sports Direct, and go and get a pair of these jeans if I need to. And I probably have about 10 pairs of jeans there. They're just casual, they're not fancy, they're not posh, they're relatively cheap, throw away, they work for about 2 months and then they get put in the bin. Trainers, I've got like 20 pairs of trainers, of levels, and we have a method. So the bottom ones are the best ones, and they go all the way up and they get a certain grade, at which point when they stop being wearable for anything other than the gym, I then give them away to charities and the likes. T-shirts, I got 3 embroiders on it. I've got one Brad Burton logo on the front, I've got one on the back, and that's generally for photographs. So when you have a photograph on stage, you can see a bald-headed bloke and you've got my logo there and it's showing with the crowd there. But I've also got a Union flag on the right-hand side, which has, as you can see, a yellow line there down the middle, which actually, they have the thin blue line for police officers, they have the thin yellow line for Brad Burton, the motivational speakers, and really that's an indication of what I'm trying to do, which is to try go up against all this kind of certainty sales people. However, what I will say is the traffic wardens have the yellow line as well. Somebody pointed that out, not very helpful. So how did I land on it? I landed on it because it's so low investment. For me to get changed any given day, I roll out of bed, I've got no hair, I don't have to do any hair products or anything, and it's a 2-minute change and then I'm good to go, I'm combat ready. And it almost like it brads me up to feel like Superman, and what I mean by that is that I get myself, and this is what you major on, I know this, is that you major on the outfit. I used to have outfits when I used to wear normal gear, which was, that had my favourite outfit, and then anything less than that, you never quite felt at your best.
Yeah.
So this is my favourite outfit. It's low maintenance, and it works for me. And also, I think what it does, Lisa, is it kind of defines me from the rest of the pack.
Yeah. Do you never get bored though? Do you ever wear anything different ever?
No. I've got like a onesie that I might wear, or I've got a pair of pyjamas, or when I go out I might wear, a fleece to walk the dog. But no. And actually, I've wore a suit twice, I think, or 3 times in the last 5 years. I've got a Hugo Boss suit, which I look amazing.
You do look good in that.
I genuinely, I know that, but I can't be bothered. And what I mean by that, I genuinely can't be bothered. And it's like, one of the things that I major on is the importance of time. And if you think from my life, this time that I've saved, from my life, it must be, let's say at the very minimum, 5 hours a month. That's 5 hours I can use doing something that I'd prefer to do. And I can only do this and get away with this get up now because I've kind of, in my own world, made it. If I tried to play this card when I first started out, it wouldn't have worked.
No.
It wouldn't have worked. Full networking wouldn't be the one it is now. So I kind of needed to ease myself into it. It's a bit like getting into a hot bath. You know, you drop yourself down too fast, people jump straight out. So you've got to take it easy.
So I have this thing that it's a made-up word, confidence.
Love
so
that.
it's about being comfortable and confident in the situation or environment. So from what I hear, from what you're saying, is that you absolutely feel totally confident in what you're wearing. You can walk into anywhere. You don't ever feel underdressed or overdressed because this is like spot on you.
So interesting. I'm speaking at an event next week, and the Palace does something of it, which is some regal place over near the Barbican over in London. And I'm going into 200 recruitment consultants. So I'll be suited and booted. I'm coming in like this. Now, the great thing is, I then make a joke of it straight away. Hi guys, just to put your mind at ease, I know, I do have a shaved head, do have tattoos, do have jeans, trainers, t-shirt, but don't worry, I'm not a drug dealer
anymore.
Thank you. Right, so I get a laugh out of it, and now I'm in. So it's basically got that out of the way.
Yeah.
I've explained that kind of off, and now they're not thinking about that. Now they're thinking about the joke in a way. I'll tell you the other thing about this as well. This tight t-shirt thing is it keeps me honest from a weight perspective, right? Does, because actually, you know, you've got to have a certain, and I've looked back at some footage, you go, oh, but it kind of keeps me to a point where I've got to keep my weight in check. I love food, absolutely love food. I'm such a foodie. But by doing this, if I'm presenting, it allows me to say, okay, you've got a gig in 2 weeks' time, you've got to keep your weight down, Brad. And it keeps me kind of in check, so it checks and measures as well, which is weird, because I'm not sure most people would ever look at an outfit like that. But for me, you know, I could not. Go back 8 years ago, when I look at my weight, I was 2.5 stone heavy. I couldn't have worn it this.
No.
So
you wouldn't have looked.
No.
You wouldn't have looked credible, would you?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't have worn this get-up and looked credible. You would have just looked like
That's right.
A bit of a daft bloke trying to be young,
and I think that's the thing about it, is that initially everyone resisted this and everyone said I got it wrong, and now everyone looks at it and goes. Everyone looks at it, and actually, I was kind of pathfinder. But you look at everything that I've ever done, whether it's for networking, people said, "Oh, you can't do it like that," and that works. Writing books, you can't write a book or get off your arse. And now, being a motivational speaker, dressed in t-shirt, jeans, and trainers,
you've got some copycats, haven't you?
Of course, and that's the thing, and that just shows you. So initially, everyone laughs at you, and then you're a pioneer, and you bring it through, allowing everyone else to be them.
I think the thing for me is that you are actually. You're embodying your brand. This is your brand. People who are trying to copy you, they need to find their own thing, and that's obviously what I help people do. So saves time, saves money, gives you more headspace to think about what you're absolutely good at.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant.
No question. And
Thank you.
I think the other thing there, Lisa, is that, you know, you're never going to be the market leader copying the market leader. You've got to find your style. You know, my style, my jeans, trainers and t-shirt, there's very few people that feel comfortable as I do in this. I found, you know, would I be willing to try a different outfit? Yes. But if I genuinely don't believe it's ever going to work, why would I waste my time and energy? Because I know you've tried bending me ear about, you know, not necessarily those tweed jackets. However, no. But you know, the reality is of this, it works for me, and this is, I think, what people have got to do. They've got to find their style that works for them. Because I tell you something, if you feel comfortable in yourself, you feel comfortable in your clothes, you'll feel comfortable in business, and that's the key to it, in my view. True success is being you, and that applies to everything from your look all the way down to your style, all the way down to the way you behave and act.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, Brad. Love it.
Listen, thank you so much for your time, Mrs. Stylist to the Stars. See you in a bit. Bye.